Hello and welcome. Really quickly before we start practice, I invite you to grab a yoga bolster. We are going to use this throughout practice. If you don't have a bolster, you can grab a really firm pillow, maybe stack a couple of firmer pillows, a couch cushion, just anything you find around your house that's similar to this. So you want something that provides you nice support, but that you can also be kind of comfortable on. So again, pause the video, grab what you need to grab, and then come on back and we'll start practice. So we're going to start off just checking in with your body, with your mind, noticing where you're at today. So I invite you to find a seat, nice comfortable seat. You can cross your legs or not. Just kind of find what works for you here. And as you settle into this seat, go ahead and notice your sit bones. So you'll see I'm kind of like rocking side to side, just kind of getting really grounded in that lower part of my body. And just start to tune into that connection. Notice what it feels like to be seated wherever you're at. Maybe you're on a mat, maybe you're on the floor or on the ground. Just kind of notice that connection from your tailbone, from your sit bones, all the way down into the earth. Maybe tune in with your shoulders. Maybe give them a little movement here. Maybe move your head side to side. So just start to notice, how do you feel in your body right now? Maybe you're super tense, maybe you've got some pain or just a lot of tension. Just sort of notice that. And then as you find a comfortable spot for your hands, just kind of ask yourself, do I want my palms to face down or face up? And maybe even start to close your eyes here. It might help you tune in better. So maybe palms down feels more natural. Maybe palms up is what you're needing. So don't overthink it. Just kind of ask yourself, settle into whatever works for you. And again, continue to notice your body here, your physical body. Maybe just do a quick body scan from the top of your head all the way down into those points that we generally hold tension. So maybe notice your jaw, maybe move that around, maybe down into your shoulders. And you're not trying to change or modify right here. You're just noticing. Noticing points of tension in your body. Maybe work that awareness down into your hips, your legs. Notice any pain. So be really aware if you are experiencing actual pain in your body right now. Bring your awareness to that. So this practice is not meant to increase that pain. So if you're having pain anywhere, listen to your body. Don't move into a stretch that produces more pain for you. If at any point in this practice you feel pain or you feel like you're exacerbating the pain you already have, you can totally back off. This practice is meant to bring tension into your body. So you're going to stretch into that tension in order to release it. So tension is really good. Pain, not so much. So again, listen to your body. This is your opportunity to tune in to your physical body. Where is that tension? Where is that pain? What do you need to release today? What do you need to let go of in your physical body? And then start to notice your thoughts here. So your mind, maybe all over the place. Notice where your mind naturally goes to. There's no right or wrongs here. Just notice where your mind is at. And then start to tune into any feelings that may come with that. So if your mind is thinking about a stressor in your life, maybe there's a feeling, well, there definitely is a feeling that comes up with that. So see if you can notice what that feeling is. overwhelm, heaviness, anger, frustration, annoyance, grief, sadness. Notice where your mind takes you, and then notice what feelings that brings up for you. And throughout this practice, I will invite you to continually notice your physical body. Where is that tension in your body? And then also notice what feelings you have in your body. And I'm going to invite you to release all of that just enough so that you can feel a little bit more calm, a little bit more regulated when you finish practice today. Notice your breathing. Just simply notice the beat of your heart. Notice each inhalation and exhalation, just your natural rhythm of breath here. And again, you're not trying to change or modify yet, just notice. And then when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, you can keep them closed. Place your palms, if they're not already, on the tops of your legs or even around your knees so that they're nice and solid on your body here. They have kind of a nice grip. Now we're going to take a few seated cat-cows. I'm going to turn this other way. You can stay where you're at. So on an inhale, start to pull your chest through your arms, start to arch your back, really open up through your front body. Option to even let your head fall back. And take a couple rounds of breath here. So we're holding this cow shape, this seated cow. Really feeling this in your whole front body, maybe even in your spine. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, take that opposite movement, take that cat. So pull your chest back, really round through your spine. Let your chin go towards your chest. And again, just hold for a few rounds of breath. Notice this feeling in your back body. Notice your spine, your shoulders, back of your neck. And then take an inhale. On that inhale, take that cow again. So bring your chest forward. And then on your exhale, take it back to that cat. Take this a few more rounds at your own pace. Again, option to keep your eyes closed here. And just move with the rhythm of your own breath. It might be different than mine. Take 2 or 3 more rounds here. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to fold. Awesome. Go ahead and finish out those rounds wherever you're at. Come back to a neutral spine. And then you're going to start to bring the bottoms of your feet together. So if you're on a mat, go ahead and face the front of your mat and bring the bottoms of your feet together. So you may notice right away, you may already feel this in your hips. So again, just kind of be mindful. Be mindful of where you feel this. Notice, and then you're going to grab your bolster, whatever prop you have, and we're going to take a variation of what's called heart bench. So in Yin Yoga, heart bench is kind of a little bit of a back bend, and it really helps open up your shoulders, your spine, your chest. So that bolster, that prop is placed similar to me, and you're going to start to lean back over it. And as you do, I'm going to scoot a little forward here. As you do, you're going to notice how that feels, and you're going to want to readjust it based on how it feels. So you don't want it to be too low. So you want it to be up closer to your shoulders and your shoulder blades. So maybe just underneath your shoulder blades. So again, you're going to maybe have to readjust a lot like I am just to kind of settle in, and you'll kind of know when it feels right. So the goal here is to lay back over it until the back of your head can come all the way down. So this can be really intense for your shoulders, for your back. Again, take your time, settle into it. And then once you're settled, you're going to maneuver your arms in whatever way feels most supportive. So for me, just having my arms down by my sides. If I didn't have my mic so that you can hear me, I would have both of my arms down on the floor. So just notice, how does this feel in your body? And what do you need to readjust here? Do you need to readjust that prop underneath you? Maybe readjust your arms, your legs. If this feels like too much for your hips to stay in this position for maybe another minute or so, you can always straighten your legs in front of you. And that's going to give you a totally different sensation in your lower body. It's also going to shift that sensation in your spine a little bit. So just notice, what does your body need here? This is your practice, your body, your time. Only you know what you need here. So tune into that. And then once you're settled, go ahead and stay. I'm going to sit up just so that I can talk a little bit better. But as you're settled in there, go ahead and start to notice your breath again. So you may notice that it becomes a little bit harder to take deep breaths because the whole front of your body, your ribs, your chest are just really open, right? This is a really kind of a vulnerable position for your front body. So just notice how that feels. Focus on your breath here. We've got about less than a minute left or so. So again, notice. If you haven't already, close your eyes down. Focus on slow, steady inhales and exhales. Anytime we do really intense stretches like this, it's super important to focus on your breath. Any tension that you feel, picture yourself releasing that tension with each exhale. And if it gets really intense, like you're not feeling pain, but it's still really intense, really focus on your exhales. You can take nice big inhales through your nose. Really push that out through your mouth. Couple more rounds of breath here. And then start to tune back in, if you're not already, to your shoulders. See if you can release them a little bit more. Take a couple more rounds of breath. Release your shoulders. Release your arms. Release your legs, whatever position they're in. And these are the last 3 rounds of breath in this shape. Take your time. So at your own pace, when you're through those rounds, slowly start to come up. So it might be good to really brace your arms and let them help you all the way back up. When you arrive, if they're not already, straighten your legs in front of you. Whew. Okay, so check in with your body. Notice how your shoulders feel. It may feel good to take a couple of shoulder rolls, get some movement going there just to further release any of that tension that built up. If your legs were in that butterfly shape the whole time, again, straightening them will really help. Maybe shake your legs out, maybe point and flex your feet. Notice how that was. Notice how that felt. And try to invite non-judgment for however that was. Maybe you stayed in it the whole time. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it was really tough. No judgment, no expectations for how that should have been. Just notice how it was. And then we're going to transition really into the hips. So if your hips are tight today, get ready. We're going to breathe and we're going to release all of that tightness. So take your prop. If you're on a mat, place it all the way towards the front of your mat. You may or may not use it, but just in case, if you don't use it, you can always ditch it to the side. So we're going to meet in a tabletop shape on hands and knees. And when you arrive, before we settle into this stretch, just kind of rock your hips side to side. Get just a tiny bit of movement going. Option to take a few cat-cows. Just a tiny bit of movement here. Alrighty. So we're going to move into what we call sleeping swan in yin, or pigeon is what it's really commonly referred to. So take your right leg, inhale, sweep it all the way back. Nice straight leg. And then on an exhale, pull your knee in towards your chest and land your right knee behind your right wrist. I was going to say right ankle. That is not possible. I don't think that's possible in any of our bodies. Okay, so as you settle in here, notice how this feels. So the goal is, again, to have that right knee behind your right wrist, and your right leg is bent here. And you're letting your hips sink all the way down. Your back leg is super straight, and maybe just take a quick look back at your leg. Make sure it's not like sprawling way off to one side or the other. You want it to be pretty straight back. Those back toes are untucked, and then settle in here. So maybe you find that this may even be too much, right? If this is too much, option to modify this a little bit, and you can bend that back knee, okay? So instead of straightening it all the way, you can sort of bend that back knee. So both knees are kind of at a 90-degree angle, like so. And then you can take your prop, whatever you have, and rest over top. So this is kind of a nice little modified variation if the full front, kind of having your whole body facing the front, is too much. Otherwise, just kind of play with what works here. We're going to settle in for a couple minutes. So if you're already settled in, you know where you're at, just focus on your breathing. Find your edge, so that point of tension that you can breathe through, you can sit in it, but it's still somewhat manageable. Maybe you're here, maybe you're all the way down like me. Again, this is your practice. Find what works for your body today. And what works for your body today may be different than what worked for your body last time you did this shape, or what this shape will look like the next time you do it. Just meet yourself where you're at and focus on your breath. Slow, steady inhales through your nose. Slow, steady exhales through your mouth. Continue to focus on your breath here. And if there's anything that you can let go of, maybe releasing your shoulders a little bit more, maybe resting the crown of your head down. Even in your hips, can you let them go a little bit more? And close your eyes down if they're not already, if that feels okay. Try to focus inward. This is going to be our most challenging, our biggest stretch today. So notice what feelings may come up with that. We're going to settle in for about 5 more rounds of breath. You got this. We're almost there. We'll take a nice little break before we go to the other side. Slow, steady inhales and exhales. Try not to rush it. And when you are through those 5 rounds of breath, slowly and gently, wherever you're at in this shape, start to come out of it. And we're actually going to meet in a seat. So wherever you're at, take your time. You're going to straighten your legs in front of you when you get into that seat. So notice how you feel. Notice any frustration that might have come up with that shape. Maybe it just felt really good. Maybe you're just zenned out and it felt great. Notice those feelings. Anything that came up. Maybe point and flex your feet. Alrighty, we're going to take that to the other side. We're going to transition a little bit differently. So this time your left leg stays out front. So for me, I like to kind of bend my left leg and then swing that right leg back behind. But get in this shape however works for your body. And whatever you did on the other side, try to take that variation on this side. You may find that you can go a little bit deeper on this side, or maybe it's a little tighter. So you may have to modify and change it a little bit compared to the other side, but as much as you can, try to equal out those sides in that variation and settle in. So this time your left knee is somewhat behind your left arm. Whew, same thing. If you're in a similar shape to me, maybe check that back leg. Make sure it's nice and centered, straight back behind you. And allow yourself to settle in here. Again, see if you can make yourself a little bit more comfortable. So try to find a nice resting place for your top of your head, whether it be on your prop or on your hands or on the floor. See if you can let go a little bit, even in your jaw and your shoulders. And again, focus on your breath here. What does this side feel like? And what feelings does that bring up? Maybe you can settle deeper into this stretch and that feels really good. Maybe it feels like an accomplishment. Maybe this side is extra tight. Maybe you're even dealing with pain and you can't quite get into the variation of this shape that you would like. Maybe that brings up frustration, annoyance. Wherever you're at on the spectrum of feelings here, can you acknowledge your body where it's at today? And maybe find a little bit of gratitude for your body. Maybe gratitude for yourself, for showing up, for doing this practice, for doing it all the way through and not giving up. We've got about 5 more rounds of breath on this side. So again, take it slow, take it steady. Try not to rush through. We're almost there. Try to release that remaining tension with these last couple rounds of breath. And again, when you're through those rounds of breath, you can slowly transition out. So take your time, be gentle with yourself. We're going to meet in a seat one more time. So swing that back leg forward. Whew. Okay. Notice how that feels. Maybe take a moment here. If you would like to release a little bit more, let go of some of that tension, you can plant your feet pretty wide apart, as wide as your mat, and just take some windshield wipers here. You can even bring those feet farther away from you. Just start to release through your legs, your hips, your lower back. Awesome. Okay. We're going to take a quick seated forward fold. So go ahead and flex through your feet. Pull your toes towards you. Inhale, find some nice length in your spine. Exhale, start to fold forward just to whatever degree you can do. We're not here for long. Try to keep that length in your spine. So on each inhale, lengthen your spine. On each exhale, see if you can fold just a tiny bit deeper. We're holding for 5, for 4, for 3, continue to breathe, for 2, for 1, slowly, slow and controlled, come up. Take your time here, all the way up. Awesome. Okay. We're going to take one last little stretch, and then we're going to move into some breath work before we finish out practice. So you can stay in that seat, start to bend your left knee and plant your foot right next to you. So make sure it's nice and solid. And then inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, twist to the left and take that right arm, hook it on the outside of your left leg. So see if you can move your gaze back behind you, past your left shoulder. And we're here for about 5 more rounds of breath. So again, take this at your own pace. Inhale to find a little more length in your spine. Exhale to twist a little bit deeper. Open up through your chest. Pull that left shoulder back. Feel this twist in your chest, your belly, your spine. Notice how this feels. And then again, when you're through those rounds of breath, slow and controlled, start to come back to center and switch. Take your time. There's no rush. Straighten your left leg down. Pull your right leg towards you. Bend that knee, plant that foot. Inhale, find that length in your spine. Exhale, twist. Hook that left arm on the outside of your right leg. And feel this twist in your body. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist a little deeper. 5 rounds of breath. Open up through your chest. Pull that right shoulder back. See if you can gaze just past your right shoulder. I know it's hard to breathe deeply, but try your best. When you're through those rounds of breath again, slow and controlled, you can come back to center. There's no rush. Take your time. Straighten that leg in front of you. Give yourself some shake it out. Do what you need to do here. And we're gonna transition back into whatever comfortable seat works for you. And we're gonna finish with some breath work. So check in, so you find that seat. Again, notice how you feel, if you need a little bit more movement, some shakes, whatever you need here as you settle into some stillness. Alrighty. If you can, close your eyes down. And I invite you again, notice your sit bones. Notice that feeling of groundedness down into the earth. So maybe even notice that sensation from the top of your head all the way down the back of your neck, your spine, down to your tailbone, down through your sit bones. So a nice straight line of energy going from the top of your head all the way down to the earth. And on these next few rounds of breath, notice that line of energy. On an inhale through your nose, imagine yourself pulling that breath from your tailbone all the way to the crown of your head. And on your exhale, push that energy all the way back down to your tailbone. So you're inhaling to pull that breath up to the crown of your head. Exhaling to push that breath all the way down your spine to your tailbone, to the earth. Take this just a few more rounds at your own pace. You're inhaling through your nose. You're exhaling through your mouth. As you do, find a comfortable position for your hands if you haven't already. Let your arms relax. Release through your whole body here. You may have a few wiggles as you do. And we're going to move into a 3-part breath. So if you would like, I invite you to place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. This might help you feel into this breathing a little bit more. So you're going to do this first set of breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Okay, so if you have a really stuffed up nose, just kind of modify, do what you can do, but in and out through your nostrils for these first few rounds. And what you're going to do is you're going to inhale half of your air into your belly. So you're going to feel your belly expand, and then the last half of that inhale into your chest. So you're inhaling twice on the same inhale. Inhale half of that air into your belly, and then half into your chest. And then on your exhale, push that all the way out of your body through your nose. And try to make your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. So let's try to practice a few rounds together. Go ahead and inhale half. Again. Exhale. All that air out. Inhale belly. Into your chest. Out. A few more rounds. Three more. Last two. Last one. Go ahead again. This time, you're going to exhale through your mouth. So inhale through your nose. Again. Exhale through your mouth. Same rhythm, just inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Take this at your own pace. Three more rounds at your own pace. Wherever you're at, take a few just normal breaths, whatever that looks like for you. Notice how your body feels. If your eyes are closed, slowly start to blink them open. Awesome job. Wherever you're at, as always, I hope you got whatever it is that you needed from this practice for your body, for your mind, for your overall health. Thank you so very much for joining me, for showing up for yourself, and I will see you next time.